How did I get started running? About 10 years ago, a friend of mine at my former job invited me to run with her. All I'd done at that point was lift weights, which I loved, and all she had done was run. And so we challenged each other. I told her, if you will lift weights with me, I will run with you. And that began my running journey. Why do I like to run? Let's see. Outside of the basic fact that it's just great exercise, I love the quiet time and the space it affords me to think and process. I know it's the one part of my day I have, whether it's an hour or if I do a really long run for a marathon training, 4 hours, where I can process, just think through thoughts and just be alone, because my days are usually pretty busy, and so it's nice to have some space to myself. My favorite place to run in Knoxville is to go down Kingston Pike, make a right on Nayland and run down to the river, down the Greenway to the river. I usually start out in the dark, about 5 or 6, depending on the time of the year. And I love getting down there just as the sun is rising. That's a pretty sweet thing for me. Okay, so I'm not one of those people who runs just to run, to be like, oh, it's 6 a.m., let me get up and run. I love having a goal. And so whether it's running a half marathon or training for a full marathon, I love being able to train towards something. And also hitting that goal is also pretty fun. Whenever I run a race, my first goal is to always finish on my own 2 feet without an ambulance. Once I do that, then my goal is to hit my time. So for example, I just finished a marathon, the Marine Corps Marathon, about 2 weeks ago. And my goal for that one was to run it under 5 hours. I'm a slow runner. But one of the things I've learned about running is that no matter how much you train, there's always something that goes wrong or doesn't quite work out on race day. And so in this case, it rained heavily for about 4 hours of the run, and that made things a little squishy and just a little uncomfortable, but you learn to roll with it. And so I love that running helps me adapt to the sport, but it's also a great metaphor for life, right? Like when things come your way, you just gotta roll with it and adapt. What does it look like to endure? Because endurance is a big part of it. There are times during a long run or during a marathon where I've hit a wall and I'm just ready to be done. I'm ready to give up, and there are times that I start to feel sorry for myself, and I wonder, why did I pay to do this? Like, nobody made me do this, I paid to do this. But then it's overcoming that and saying, you know what? I can do this, and just pushing through it and having other people come alongside you and just being challenged by that.